Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the AtR podcast. I'm Gio Garcia. I am alongside Christian Mosqueda. Back for another exciting week, Chris.
Yeah, man, another exciting week of boxing, and yeah, man, let's go right into it, man. It was a big heavyweight clash at that 175 division, pitting two guys that are they're just favorites for the boxing fan. I gotta ask you, Gio, what were your thoughts on Beterbiev destroying, as you so eloquent put it in the title, destroying Joe Smith Jr.
Impressive, man. Impressive. Artur Beterbiev, 18-0 now. 18 knockouts. He's stopped every single one of them. Crazy, crazy. I think my prediction was something like round 5 or 6.
Yeah,
I expected this to go a few more rounds than it did, but oh man, it's super impressive by Artur Beterbiev. I mean, he just took this guy out. Look, we got to start putting respect on his name as probably the most powerful puncher in boxing. I think a lot
yeah,
of people were not giving him that, but now he definitely has a strong case. Artur Beterbiev, one of the best fighters in the world. We were talking about top 10 lists, in the past couple weeks. Artur Beterbiev definitely has to be up there. And I think without a doubt, solidified himself as the best fighter at 175 pounds, as if there was any doubts about that, right? I think he's recognized universally as the number one. Bevo possibly that number two. I do think it's close, but if we're talking about sheer power, I mean, Artur Beterbiev is miles ahead of most of his competition. If we're talking about strictly power, and I gotta say, I was impressed. I was impressed by the way he took Joe Smith Jr. out. If we see some of the comments here, and I'll get into it in a bit. Uh, Thoroughly impressed, man. I don't know what else to say. 2 rounds. It only took him 2 rounds, and it looked like he was hitting Joe Smith Jr. with a hammer on the head every time he connected clean. It was pretty impressive.
yeah. On the previous podcast, I don't think nobody would be surprised that Beterbiev was gonna knock Joe Smith Jr. out. It's just how quickly he did it. You know how every shot was damaging in a sense. It's I think I predicted this fight would go maybe more than 6 rounds. I felt Joe Smith Jr. With his blue collar work ethic, never say die. Attitude was gonna last longer, but man, it against power like that, you can't really you know blame Joe Smith Jr. I mean, Beterbiev was gonna break 85%, 90% of his opponents down. It's just a given. But yeah, man, I thought this was gonna be a fight of the year type of fight. I think I saved myself by saying, like, unless we see an Nonito Donaire Inoue performance, and that's exactly what happened. It was just 2 rounds, just like Inoue did the previous weeks, and it just shows just the sheer power, the sheer brute force that I don't see too many people are going to be able to contend. So again, like you mentioned, Artur Beterbiev, just another monster in the sport of boxing, and a shame that not a lot of casual know who he is, but hopefully with the unification, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. If that goes down, I hope more people are able to get to see Beterbiev, because he is 37. He is getting older. Whether you like it or not, he's not going to be here for a long time. So, yeah, people need to see him on a grander scale.
Yeah, and just to read some comments here in the comment section, shout out to all you guys checking in. Shout out to Derek checking in. Arthur's annihilation of Joe Smith, says our guy Derek. Big Bro says Arthur Beterbiev easy work, showed Smith Jr. didn't belong in the ring with him as a champion, says Big Bro. Clyde from Comics Vet says Beterbiev showed out. Derek says he had rather have seen Blasov in there than Joe Smith. TBH, he says. And then Big Bro saying he's top 7, top 8, somewhere around there. So definitely a great performance by Artur Beterbiev. And like you said, if people didn't know him before, they better start paying attention, because this guy, I believe he's only going to box for a few more years. I mean, how old is he now? 37, 38?
Yeah.
He's up there, or 36. I may be. It's around that range, but he is older. To me now, obviously the Ghostic win to me is the most impressive, but this one has got to be up there too because it was just sheer dominance and it only took him a couple rounds. I mean, I was talking with Clyde about Canelo possibly facing Artur Beterbiev if he would have beat Bivol, and that would have been a bit dangerous, man. This guy Beterbiev is a big, strong puncher, and he's a machine. He comes forward, and like I said, every time he landed on Joe Smith Jr., it was bad for Joe Smith. He went down what, 3 times or
Three.
twice?
I could have. Let's just say 3, but
I mean, it was just dominant. It was just dominance, and I think the referee did the right thing in stopping it. Joe Smith Jr. looked disoriented there at the end. Legs weren't under him. He took a few shots to the temple, a few big uppercuts, and he was just not going to be able to recover. I was impressed that Beterbiev was able to just to walk through him and annihilate him. And Joe Smith obviously has power, but yeah, he didn't bother Beterbiev at all in this fight.
Yeah. Can I just say for Joe Smith Jr., props to him for, first of all, taking a fight of this magnitude. He did collect the belt, not too long ago, and we know how it goes in boxing. Sometimes these guys, they take some time to face the other belt holders, and Joe Smith Jr. didn't. He wanted to take the toughest test, and that is not rare. He took on B-Bull. He's taken on some good name fighters, and so props to Joe Smith Jr. first for taking this fight, and second for trying to get up, and trying to continue. Like you said, it was a great stoppage by the ref. That was up to Joe. I'm pretty sure he would have wanted to continue, but they stopped him right when they should have. His legs were just not there. We saw the damage that he was taking, very clean shots, and yeah, man, and his chin just couldn't hold up. And no knock to that. I don't think, like I said, not too many people are going to be able to sustain the shots that Beterbiev throws out.
Yeah, and Clyde brings out a good point. He says, I wonder if age will hit him like it did Kovalev. Kovalev was crushing people, and then he got old overnight. Yeah. And I was coming into this fight and the past couple fights kind of thinking that, Beterbiev was slowing down a little bit, but this one definitely proved that theory wrong. I think obviously Joe Smith Jr. is a favorable matchup for him because he was a guy who was going to fight fire with fire, and yeah, that's not good news against a guy like Artur Beterbiev. But we'll see where he goes from here. Obviously, I think the fight that makes the most sense is the Bivol fight. If we're talking about the 175-pound division and all the titles, obviously Canelo's name is still in the mix because he has that rematch against Bivol. Will he face Beterbiev if he gets through Bivol? That's the big question, and I think most people will agree that he shouldn't. Beterbiev is stronger, big dude, and I don't know if Canelo would pass that test. Big Bro says Canelo needs to stay far away from Beterbiev. No need to go through that beast. And yeah, I agree 100%. I think just the weight differences, the size difference is huge. It's huge, and that's dangerous. Big guy and a big puncher like Joe Smith Jr. got taken out in 2 rounds, so no need to play with that huge fire right there. That's a wild brush fire right there, Artur Beterbiev, man. You don't want to play with that.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, Gio, the fight to be made at 175, of course, is Beterbiev versus Bivol. Do you think that fight gets made right away? And if it doesn't, and if it takes too long, who would you blame for that fight not happening?
Look, I don't think it gets made right away, and I would blame Dimitri Bivol because obviously Bivol has a bigger fight on his plate when it comes to the financial situation. Obviously, you want to fight Canelo because you're probably going to triple the amount of money that you're going to make against Canelo than if you were to face Beterbiev. Canelo, in a way, is a lower risk, much higher reward. So, of course, if I'm Bivol, I want to face Canelo, but I'm not sure if this fight gets made. There was rumors that they were going to fight each other, Beterbiev and Bivol. I think the manager came out and said that they were kind of planning that fight out with Beterbiev, and they were trying to fight him in a certain month, and then Beterbiev's team said they practiced Ramadan, so or fasting and that tradition because of his religion, so it didn't go through. We'll see. It's going to be interesting if it does indeed happen, but I think Bivol will face Canelo first and then probably test the waters with Beterbiev. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. I'm not sure what they're thinking at the moment over there in that camp. I'm sure they were watching, and I'm not sure if they want to get in the ring with Beterbiev at the moment. Maybe they want to wait it out a couple of years.
Dang, years. All right, so let me get this straight. You're saying that B-Ball is going to play it safe, wait for Canelo and Triple G to pass, most likely fight a mandatory, stay busy fight, take on Canelo in May of next year, and not even face Beterbiev, maybe not even towards the end of next year? And you're saying that's a smart thing for him to do, even though it's quote-unquote ducking the other 175-pound champ.
Well, is it really ducking if you're going to face him eventually? I think it's just taking the smarter route. I mean, get paid first because you don't want to fumble the bag, man. You want that Canelo money.
Yeah.
Big Bro says Beterbiev versus Yarde is signed. Yarde is signed for October in London, supposedly. Yeah, that's the fight that they were talking about and trying to promote and stuff. And we'll see if that happens. But Beterbiev is stopping anyone not named Bivol right now, in my opinion. I'm not sure if he can stop Bivol, but that would be a great fight.
Yeah, you know what? Since we're on that Bivol topic, obviously we know with what each fighter brings. Bivol is very, 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 very skilled, very sound, very disciplined. And obviously Beterbiev comes with power. You know, one of them is in their prime, in a sense. Bivol's more closer to that mid-30s, late 20s age range what constitutes their prime. Who do you favor in that fight, Gio? If they were to fight, say, right now?
We're talking Artur Beterbiev against Dmitry Bivol.
Yeah.
I think before this fight, I saw it as a closer to a 50-50 fight. I think right now, if they fight right now, I think Beterbiev will have the edge because that power is just insane, and he's a machine. He comes forward. He showed us this against Gvozdyk a couple years ago. I think that was in 2019. Gvozdyk, but very good boxer, but he wasn't able to keep Beterbiev off of him for all 12 rounds. I think he got stopped like in the 8th or 9th, and that's simply because Beterbiev kept coming forward, and it's very hard to discourage him. So I would have to say right now Beterbiev has the edge.
Yeah. And let's talk realistic. Let's say they're most likely, if they face each other, we know how boxing works. We know, how they stall a bit, just to give themselves an edge. If they fight in a year and a half, which is likely gonna happen then, who wins then?
I think that becomes more of a 50-50. But until Beterbiev begins to show us, that he's slowing down drastically, I don't see anybody beating him at the moment. I mean, this guy's just a beast. Big Bro says Yarde is just as easy, says Big Bro. And I agree with that. I think he stops Yarde.
Yeah. Yeah, when I saw that Yarde was there, I was like, okay. That kind of already put you in your mind, like, okay, that's the next guy in line. And then what you just mentioned, it's Bivol, Beterbiev, even though people are the true boxing head is gonna be clamoring for that fight at 175. It might wait a bit. But Yarde, obviously we know Yarde from facing a Kovalev Do you see Yardic lasting the distance, or do you
No,
think it's just anybody? No.
no,
Mm.
no,
Is there
not
anybody in
at
that
all.
175 other than B-Ball that you think can go the distance with a Beterbiev?
Maybe Canelo. Maybe Canelo.
Hmm.
I don't think Canelo gets stops, but I mean, look, Arthur Beterbiev right now is a top dog in his division. You guys see there on your screen Usyk and Joshua that was just announced. Um, Obviously, if Fury's out of the picture, then Usyk is the top dog at heavyweight. I mean, these are all just very interesting fights. And look, Big Bro says Zurdo maybe because he's huge. Yeah, I was gonna name Zurdo too. I think he, I think it's time for Zurdo to take a big fight to put him in the mix. You know, especially because he's coming up from 168. Hasn't really had big fights, but I think he needs to start taking them in order to get his name in the mix. Not sure if he'll get the Bivol fight because Bivol, you would think that his priority is Canelo first and then Beterbiev second. So I don't know if Zurdo gets a fight with Bivol anytime soon, but that's still an interesting fight. But just to put a cap on all this, I think Beterbiev is, like I said, one of the best fighters in the world. Obviously, the best at 175, and he's a dangerous man. So all the other guys at 75, I don't blame them if they stay away from him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I completely agree. Beterbiev is just he's been knocked down, but he's got something where it doesn't shake him in the slightest. He knows that his power is gonna, not to use that overused phrase, but it's gonna pay dividends. He'll take shots to land his, and his are gonna be 3 to 4 times more damaging. Yeah, not to compare to old fighters, but
Here we go.
I wouldn't even make that comparison.
Here
But
we go. Say it.
he's that type of fighter that he believes in his power so much that he'll take shots. He doesn't have the most sound defense. He doesn't need it because his power really gets him out of any predicament. And his record shows for it. 18-0, 18 knockouts, 100% knockout ratio. So dangerous man.
Who were you going to compare him to? Say it.
It's not a fair comparison. It's not a fair comparison. I was gonna compare him to Margarito, but we know that Margarito, he got those loaded gloves. Margarito used to take shots to land his, and he would break everybody down. But we all know he tried to defend himself on another podcast. We're not buying it. Not that's not a fair assessment. But Beterbiev is
speak for yourself.
Is a real at 175, and yeah, that's the boogeyman there at 175.
Yep, real boogeyman, man. I think it's a good moment to move on. I was very impressed that it was 2 rounds. I texted Clyde. I'm like, hey, fight's over already. It was very quick. It was less than 6 minutes. But yeah, man, very impressed by Beterbiev and yeah, can't wait to see him again. And hopefully he fights soon because he's not getting any younger. But I think this is a good time to move on. Let's move on to...
Hey,
what's up? Go ahead.
Before we stop, I got to tell you, I was a little upset with the ads in between. I don't know if you caught the full fight, but there was ads. If you know a fight could be that short, man, let's hear the corners. Let's hear. I didn't like the ads, man. I didn't like the ads. It's already on ESPN Plus. Like that bothered me. That bothered me with all the extra ads.
They had a lot of ads in the Haney Kambosos fight. Hey, they got to do what they got to do, man. They got to pay the bills. With that being said, let's go to our first ad of the night. Brought to you, but no, I'm just kidding. We're not there yet, but yeah, no, I agree with that. Sometimes you want to hear what the corner is saying. You want to see what the energy is like in that corner, right? But yeah, they got to do what they got to do. But let's see how DAZN does this weekend. Bam Rodriguez against Sor Rungvisai. This is going to be a crazy match right here, man. 2 southpaws. I'm a fan of Sor Rungvisai. Really like him. I do think he has slowed down. And let's see if Bam Rodriguez can take advantage of that. Bam coming from a lower weight class, but he definitely impressed against Carlos Cuadras. So not sure if I'm ready to make a prediction right now, but I will give you one in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah. No, again, this is a very intriguing fight. Obviously, we know that Jesse Bam uh, Rodriguez, he's one of the most highly touted fighters of those lower weight class, and and not to knock off anything off of Sor. Sor is uh, a dedicated, decorated champion. He took out the once upon a time consensus number one pound for pound fighter in Chocolatito. Like you mentioned, he slowed down a little bit, but I think he still has a lot in the tank. He's gonna test Bam Rodriguez, and this could be a passing of the torch in a sense. Obviously, Sor was part of those four kings that the boxing fans anointed with Chocolatito, with Cuadras, with El Gallo Estrada. So it's a very intriguing fight. I think Bam has what it takes to carry on that torch, but he's gonna have to work for it. And a very talented, skilled fighter, but Sor has it too. So yeah, I'll wait on that prediction a little bit, but very, very, very solid fight and very solid card.
Yeah, and I was trying to buy myself time. But I'm just gonna go ahead and give my prediction off the top. I think Bam Rodriguez wins a decision. The fight's in Texas. I think he's coming in with all the confidence in the world after that Cuadras performance, and I think this is a huge, huge moment for him. San Antonio, Texas, hometown. But it's going to be a very good fight, man. Sor Rungvisai, good boxer, good puncher. It's going to be a tougher fight, obviously, than Carlos Cuadras. So I'm excited for this one, and I hope that Bam can pull it off. So I'm going to go with Bam Rodriguez by decision. If he gets a knockout, I'm going to start getting ready to put him up there in my top 10, man. Not even joking. I've been saying for a while that he's the most talented out of that RGBA stable. And if he's able to stop a guy like Sor Rungvisai, a guy who was formerly on that pound for pound list, who stopped Chocolatito when Chocolatito was at the top, if Bam can stop that guy, Sor Rungvisai, it's going to be very, very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, and for people that don't know, Sor has not been, knocked out since 2009. He's one of those guys that started their career with losses right away, and that could have deterred him. That could have made him say, like, "Hey, this sport's not for me." But he worked his way up, and like we mentioned, the rest is history. Champion, dethroning, a pound for pound fighter. He came from nothing, and he worked his way up, and he's a very, very respectable fighter. And so if Bam can not just beat him but knock him out, yeah, that's gonna really put him up in those power rankings. I agree with that, but I think it's gonna be it's gonna be a tough fight. On the skill level, obviously and I'm sure you favor Bam, but it's
Yes.
that warrior. I think he may go into dark waters unless Bam is just way more skilled. But again, Chocolatito's skilled too. It was just the size difference for Sor. But yeah, dude, I'm excited for this one. I'm very impressed with Bam's just his belief in himself. This is the second of four kings. Is he going to go after the other two by the next 2 years? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, he might just, and it's very interesting because they offered him that fight with Cuadras last minute. Um, was it Sor Rungvisai who was supposed to fight Cuadras? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that fight was canceled. I think Sor got COVID, if I'm not mistaken. But it's interesting because it's a division where his brother is fighting at, Joshua Franco. He holds, I believe, is a WBA regular belt. And it seemed like Franco was going to be the one ascending in that division. Now it's Bam Rodriguez, and Bam, ultra skillful. I think he stands a chance against any of the four kings. So, and he might become the emperor, if he's able to come out on top. Those guys are getting a bit older. So right now is Bam time, and can't wait for this fight. Big Bro says Bam by stoppage on 8 or 9.
Yeah,
Bold prediction, but we'll see. Let's see what version of Sor we get, because he hasn't been fighting the best competition lately. Let's
Yeah.
be honest. Uh, Jesse Rodriguez, um, 15 and 0, 10 knockouts. So only 15 professional fights, of course. He defeated Carlos Cuadras last time out by unanimous decision, but he dominated. Cuadras is a warrior, and that's the only reason why he didn't stop him. Now, Sor Rungvisai, Wisaksil Wangek is his name, his real name at least. 50 and 5 with one draw. Out of those 50 wins, 43 KOs. So obviously, power puncher. Last time out, he won by stoppage against a guy who was 50 and 7. Before that, he won by TKO against a guy who was 17 and 17. And then he won a unanimous decision before that one in 2020 against a guy who was 20 and 3. And then in 2019, that's when he took that loss against El Gallo Estrada. And that he had a good roll, good momentum, man. He defeated Estrada, he defeated Chocolatito back to back. He was on a roll. He was one of the top fighters in my pound for pound until he took that loss against Gallo. So, like I said, he hasn't been fighting the best competition. So let's see what version of Sor Rungvisai we get.
Yeah. Again, Sor is the bigger fighter, and a lot of people felt Chocolatito was gonna soundly beat him just based on skill. But obviously, we see why there's weight classes, and that played a role in that fight, and that could play a role in this fight. So yeah, let's not discount that the size difference that can that could be a factor in this fight.
Yeah, and then a very good event as well put together by Matchroom Boxing, Mr. Eddie Hearn at Techport Arena in San Antonio, Texas. We're going to have Akhmadaliev against Ronnie Rios. Akhmadaliev 10 and 0, Ronnie Rios 33 and 3. We're going to have Julio Cesar Martinez 18 and 2 against McWilliams Arroyo 21 and 4. We're going to have Jessica McCaskill against Alma Ibarra, who's 10 and 1. Jessica McCaskill 11 and 2. Let's see. Raymond Ford against Richard Medina. Nikita Ababi, I didn't know he was fighting, against Noe Larios Jr. But those are the fights as of now listed on BoxRec. So that's going down on the zone.
Yeah, this is a stack card. Obviously, very recognizable names. MJ there, Andre Martinez, and Nikita Bobby. Obviously, Jessica McCaskill there as well. Yeah, very stacked card. I think this is the most stacked card I've seen all year, based on just like name recognition. But yeah, don't miss this card. I'm gonna be out. Other than obviously Bam Rodriguez, which other fight on that card are you looking forward to seeing the most, Gio?
I think the El Rey Martinez against McWilliams Arroyo, I think that's going to be a war. But I'm intrigued about Nikita Ababi. I know he told you he wants to go down to 154. He's been doing decent at 160, knocking a lot of guys out, but he said he's going down to 154 and campaigning in that weight class. So, yeah, I think I'm intrigued by those. Nikita, let's see what he can do. Once again, that's going down San Antonio, Texas, this Saturday on the Zone.
Yeah, I think that's a smart move. 160, it's a little competitive. I think Nikita sees that at 154, division. He probably sees Jermel moving up sometime in the future, and maybe he sees himself picking up a belt in that division. But I'm most intrigued to see MJ. I don't see him losing this fight, but I see this one drawing considerable attention, seeing as that now in a way might go up in the next year or two after he picks up that final belt. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see that. Obviously, he's most known for that win over Danny Roman, a fight that I was very impressed. So let's see what he does this fight. But yeah, obviously the main is Bam and Sor, and yeah, we'll see. We want to see if there's a passing of the torch.
Yeah, very good card. Very good card. Looking forward to that one. And then I think this is a good time to move on, as you guys see there on your screen, talking about two boxing stars, heavyweights. Of course, Alexander Usyk versus Anthony Joshua announced for August 20th in Saudi Arabia.
Oof. Oof. I got to ask you, did you see the face-off, Gio? Tell me you saw it.
I think I saw like a 10-second clip. I
Okay,
just
that's
saw
all.
Usyk wearing a bucket hat.
Man, it was just a face-off where AJ just did not want to get his eyes off. Even when Eddie Hearns told him, like, hey, look forward, look at the people, pose for the cameras. AJ just had his eyes locked on Usyk, and Usyk turned his body, but he still kept his look on him. It's just classic Usyk.
I
With
did
his
see
funny
that part.
persona.
I did see that part.
Yeah. So it's just classic Usyk.
Look,
Based on that, okay, go.
yeah, I was just gonna say it's an intriguing matchup, man. I think Anthony Joshua in the rematch against Reese, he proved that he can alter his game plan, adapt. Obviously, he was helped by Reese not training, and Reese and Usyk are different fighters. Usyk is always very professional, always very prepared. But this is very intriguing, man. I think if Joshua can adapt, now he has Robert Garcia in his corner. Will that make a difference? This is an intriguing matchup, man. I still think it's going to be a close one, and I think there's going to become a trilogy. Either that or Usyk is just going to make easy work and totally outbox and take Joshua's heart. But we'll see. I'm definitely going to wait for my prediction. Interesting that it's in Saudi Arabia. I'm sure someone out there splashed the cash, that oil money,
Yeah.
and when it's, I'm sure great business like this, if you're Usyk and you're Joshua, you hop on that opportunity and you run it back.
Yeah. I know when I said that Beterbiev and Joe Smith Jr. was gonna be the match of the summer. I know you said I'm gonna hold. I'm a wait. Summer's not over. Was this the fight that you feel like it's gonna be the biggest one? I know it's at the tail end of summer, but do you feel like this one is gonna be it?
Yeah, I think this is a huge event, man. I think the first one was huge, but I think this one's going to be even bigger. I think Usyk became more of a global star by beating Anthony Joshua, especially the way that he beat him, especially coming up in weight, taking all the belts there from Joshua. I think this becomes a bigger fight, and I don't see why this shouldn't be the fight of the summer. I mean, this is huge right here, huge moment for both gentlemen. Um, Seems like if Joshua takes another loss, and especially a convincing one, the people are going to start hopping off that bandwagon, right, and hopping on the Usyk bandwagon. But we'll see. I think they both have a lot to win and a lot to lose. So this is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most this summer. And I'm just very, very intrigued. I hope it's a great fight. I hope it's a great fight. I thoroughly enjoy the first one, but I think this one has the potential to be even better.
I gotta ask: can Joshua win the decision?
He can.
Does he? Or
He can. Look, in
can?
heavyweight boxing, anything can happen. Anybody can hurt each other. So we've never seen Usyk necessarily seriously hurt. If Joshua was able to do it, I think he can take a lot of those rounds. So he can hurt Usyk in multiple occasions and take the majority of the rounds that way. So I don't think he necessarily has to win by KO. Now, if he's going to stand there and box with Usyk, he's going to lose again. So, my opinion, I think he has to throw more, come forward, take the risk. You already lost once, man. You already lost once. You have to take the risk. You have to come at Usyk. You can't let him be comfortable. You can't box him from the outside. You have to make it rough against Usyk, and Joshua obviously has the length and the power to bother Usyk. So I think anything can happen, and that's what's so intriguing about heavyweight boxing.
Obviously, we know that these two guys are not necessarily known for trash talking. It does seem like Usyk has that mental edge. Being the guy that won, and took the belts from the bigger guy. Does Joshua have to do anything prior to this fight? Does he need to do something in the press conferences? Does he? What does he have to? What can he do, if anything, outside of that squared circle?
We're talking about who?
Joshua.
He just has to go for it, man. He has all the tools in the world to hurt Usyk. I think in the first fight, Usyk was able to earn his respect early on in the fight against Joshua, and maybe Joshua's past loss had a little bit of a factor in that fight. You know, losing to Andy Reid, getting hurt like that. I just think he didn't take enough risks, but man, anything's possible, like I said, and let's see if Robert Garcia can make a difference. Clyde says Usyk by UD, so he's going again. Usyk by UD. Not a bad prediction.
Yeah. Usually we wait to do our predictions. I know you're gonna wait a little bit, Gio.
I'm waiting.
I think you're waiting. I think I'm gonna throw mine out now.
Here we go.
And I think it has somewhat to do with Joshua picking up Robert. Not that that's a bad decision, but it seems like it could play into Usyk's favor. I know Clyde say decision. I'm gonna say knockout. I'm gonna say TKO. Like you just mentioned, I think Joshua, to have greater success, he's gonna have to take chances, and I think he knows that. But I think in doing so, I think he's gonna leave himself open. And I think, like you said, I believe that Usyk is gonna knock him out, TKO.
Wow. You better not change your mind, Chris.
I'm not.
Hey, you guys remind him. Remind him when he get closer. He's probably gonna change it up.
Hey, no. And let me tell you this. Obviously, for boxing, it'd be better for boxing if Joshua were to win. It entices Tyson Fury to come back. You know, the British people are huge. So, you know, they're huge to the sport of boxing out there. But I don't see Usyk, who I have been my number one pound for pound. I don't see too many gaping holes. Like you mentioned, in the heavyweight division, anything can happen. One punch can shut your lights off. But I just don't see any gaping holes in his game. And again, I think he not only plays to his strengths in the ring, outside of that ring, he's also playing the mind games. We saw George Kambosos try to do something like that, but George Kambosos is playing checkers while Usyk is playing chess. So yeah, man, I'm doing it early, and I like AJ. I like AJ, but Usyk, he's just that guy.
Jesus says Robert knows Usyk. Big bro says AJ KO in 5 or 6. Who-wee. And Clyde says, damn, Christian picked Usyk. That means he'll lose. I'm gonna make one prediction.
Let's go.
Not the official outcome, but I'm gonna say this: Usyk will get knocked down in this fight. Usyk is going down. Will he win or not? Not sure, but I think Usyk goes down. I can see it.
Has Usyk ever been dropped? I don't think he has.
I think early on in his career, maybe. I may be wrong, but I think early in his career he has been dropped. Obviously, he's been looking solid in the heavyweight division, but I think he gets caught. But against a great fighter like Usyk, I think that it kind of like Lomachenko. It kind of wakes them up and keeps them sharp for the rest of the fight. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if Joshua can stop him. Obviously, Joshua possesses a ton of power. These are huge guys, man. Huge men. Pause. Joshua 6'6". I don't know what he's going to weigh in on fight night, 250, 260. I mean, those are heavy hands coming at you. So very intriguing fight, man. And let's see if El Robert can make a difference in all this. And I'm sure, hey, he's going to make some change, man. Congrats to Robert. 10% of $500,000 ain't the same as 10% of 50 million. You know, so he's going to go home with a good check. Robert Garcia.
Yeah. I gotta ask you, Joe. we know AJ overlooked Andy Ruiz the first fight. Let's not kid ourselves. Did he overlook Usyk
Not
the
at
first fight?
all. Not at all. I don't think so.
No.
I think I think he I think he was surprised that Usyk was that good, and I think Usyk discouraged him little by little throughout the fight, and obviously you see it. Joshua never really committed to coming forward, to throwing punches, to look for that knockout. He kind of seemed content to just make it a competitive fight, be in it, win some rounds, and at the end of the day, hope that the judges sway that decision toward him. But I think in this fight, he'll be more determined, and I think Robert is not going to let him get away with not being determined and not coming forward and not throwing enough punches. I think Robert's going to get on his ass, and that's why I think he has a good chance of winning this one, man. I'm going to hold my official prediction. Wait for it. We still have a couple months to go, but
Yeah.
like I said, I think Usyk goes down. Not sure if he stays down, but I can see him getting knocked down. But I mean, look, summer's hot. We have a great fight this Saturday, and the end to summer is gonna be that Joshua Usyk fight. So I just hope in between there that they fill up that calendar well. I think Top Rank has been doing a good job, and one fighter I forgot to mention was Robeisy Ramirez, who got another impressive win. This was a guy who came into the pro ranks, highly touted amateur, 2 Olympic gold medals, right? If I'm not mistaken, or just one.
2.
Two,
Two.
right? Two. Took a loss, and everyone was like, "Oh, this guy's overrated. This guy, he was all hype." But he's been looking good in his last few fights, man. He just beat an undefeated fighter, and not only beat him, but he knocked him out. So Robeisy Ramirez is definitely a guy to keep an eye on. But kind of jumping back to the AJ Usyk topic, I did post a poll on Instagram, and surprisingly enough, I thought more people were going to vote for Usyk. He still received the majority of the votes, but I thought most people were going to go with Usyk. And I kind of disappeared because it's been more than 24 hours, but I can still look it up. Let's see. Give me 1 second. All right, so here it is. So the poll, when the official fight in the venue was announced, was who you got, Usyk or Joshua. Usyk received 57% of the votes. AJ received 40% of the votes, and 3% thought that it was going to be a draw. So, like I said, a little surprised. I thought maybe 70% or more were going to pick Usyk, but people are still giving Joshua a good chance.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a little surprising. But again, it's that size that Joshua has. It's obviously when
Hey, there we go,
first,
Clyde. There we go, Clyde. He's gonna switch it. He's switching up already.
No. No, I'm trying to give AJ some.
It took 7 minutes. It took 7 minutes.
I'm trying to give him some credit. I'm still Usyk by TKO. It's just, I mean, based on those facts or based on those poll numbers, I mean, AJ got a shot. He's got a shot. He's got the size. He tends to come. I mean, he's only had one definitive loss, and he came back. So he's got some belief in himself, But
look, the first fight wasn't a blowout. The first fight wasn't a blowout. I just think he didn't do enough to win the majority of the rounds, and Usyk was able to hurt him a couple times. So I think if Joshua wins 2 more rounds, I think the decision would have looked a lot different. A lot different. It's not like he got wiped out, but Usyk just showed great boxing in that fight.
Yeah.
The old switcheroo. The old switcheroo. And Clyde
Usyk,
shaking his head.
He's just methodical when it comes to breaking down. I think Joshua has that heart where he kind of just he edges most guys. When we think of a tough fight, we remember the Klitschko fight where he just had another gear. But I think Usyk is just that methodical, like I mentioned, just breaking down high level IQ, and I don't think AJ is as smart. I think Robert knows this, and he's gonna play to AJ's strengths, which is what Robert's known for, and that's offense. Just come forward. I think AJ's gonna have to put a lot of his weight on Usyk, try to tire him down, but Usyk's too damn smart. Too damn smart.
I hope he goes to the body, Joshua. I hope he goes to the body. Try to switch it up. I don't think Usyk is going to be expecting that, but let's see if, like I said, if Robert can make any changes in the game plan and AJ's style and his mentality. We'll see. It's going to be very interesting. I see, kind of hopping back to the Bam Rodriguez against Sor Rungvisai fight. Mark Castro, I don't know if he's fighting on the ESPN schedule. He's on there, but we'll see. That should be very interesting. Are you checking out the July 2nd Manchester, England, Ricky Haddon against Marco Antonio Barrero exhibition at all?
It is. That's really happening?
Okay, it's on the schedule.
I'll watch it afterwards. I'll watch the highlights. Yeah, what weight is that at? 180?
Probably.
Yeah. You gonna watch it?
Nah, we'll see. We'll see. Huey Fury is on the card.
Okay.
July 9th. This one's interesting as well. San Antonio, Texas. Showtime. Mark Magsayo against Ray Vargas. For Magsayo's WBC belt. Magsayo, of course, defeated your boy, Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell was injured in that fight. Was very limited. Magsayo took full advantage, and now he's facing Ray Vargas. July 9th, Derek Chisora against Kubrat Pulev. Oh, man. London DAZN. Yeah. Also, hey, July has some decent fights, man. Arnold Barboza Jr. against Danielito Zorrilla. Temecula, California, ESPN Plus. July 16th, Los Angeles, California, DAZN. Ryan Garcia against Javier Fortuna. July 23rd, Joet Gonzalez against Isaac Dogbo. Hinckley, Minnesota, ESPN Plus. And July 30th, to cap it all off, I know Clyde will be watching, Danny Garcia against Jose Benavidez Jr. And that's what July is looking like right now.
Not bad, not bad. Let me tell you, Gio, the only exhibition matches I really enjoy are the Julio Cesar Chavez fights. That's honestly the only ones I've been enjoying. And yeah, it's just, they be beating up the refs. There's actually a lot of good boxing. There's a lot of old school movements that he still does that I don't see a lot of the fighters do nowadays. So those are really intriguing, but I don't know about it. I don't know. I don't know, man. We'll see.
We shall see. And that's all I got for today. I don't know if you wanted to add anything else, but that's all I got, man. Just looking forward to this Saturday. Rewinding a little bit. Very impressed by Artur Beterbiev. And just glad that Usyk and Joshua now have an official date, an official venue. And will it be on the DAZN pay-per-view? Do we know or do we not know?
Not sure.
Have they said anything? They might hit us with another DAZN pay-per-view. Right?
Yeah, no. They might.
And talking about that, Canelo and Triple G, they have an official venue now, the T-Mobile Arena. They have just announced the fight will take place at the T-Mobile Arena. Home of Canelo, right? Home of Canelo's latest fights.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, we'll also be calling the fights this Friday, Gio. Live from Pomona, Derby Room. We'll be in attendance.
Tune in. Tune in Friday night. We'll be calling all the action live from Pomona, California. Marv Nation Promotions. Check out their YouTube channel. We'll be live, man. So hopefully you guys enjoy the commentary, enjoy all the action. Come say what's up. We'll shout you out and all that. And looking forward to it, man. That's Friday, June 24th. Marv Nation Promotions. And June 25th, don't forget, Kid Kansas, Alan Garcia making his homecoming, his return home. He'll be fighting in Garden City, Kansas, out there putting on a show for his people. So excited for that one as well. I believe it will be streamed as well. So just stay tuned to the link, man, that YouTube community tab. I normally share a lot of stuff on there, polls, links, pictures, announcements. So make sure to check out that community tab on YouTube.
Well, what message do you have for little bro Alan Garcia as he's coming home to pat that record a bit some more?
Just enjoy it. Have fun in front of his friends, family. I'm sure it's going to be a huge event. So just enjoy the ride, man. Enjoy every moment. Be ready and just be ready to put on the show, man. Can't wait.
Yeah, man, they're working hard. They're building a great stable down there. I think it's gonna be a great moment for him. I mean, he's been through a lot personally. So it's gonna be a blessing to bring some happiness back home. Hopefully he gets his opponent out in amazing fashion. And man, we'll be supporting him from out here, man. But Kid Kansas, man.
Yes, sir. And a big shout out to Clyde. He says my birthday is Saturday, June 25th. Finally 21, Clyde. Congrats. Shout out to Clyde, man.
Man, happy birthday, Clyde. Saturday night, we'll take a shot for you. Wherever we're at, I'll be like, this one's for Clyde. It's Senor Clyde.
Yeah, man. I think that's a good way to get out of here. We'll be sharing all the links to those live fights. Come check them out. And yeah, man, looking forward to this weekend. So, yeah, that's all I got. Take care. We'll be back soon. Chris, any final words, announcements, birthday shout-outs, bad takes?
Nah, man, just a
bad takes. Yeah, you gotta give us a bad take, man. Come on.
I gotta give you a bad take, man. Nah, man, it's Beterbiev's division, man. It's Beterbiev's division, and yeah, man. No, people gotta stay away from him. That guy's only a couple years left in the sport. He's destroying everybody, man. This guy's a monster.
18-0, 18 KOs. The boogeyman.
Vámonos.
All right, let's get out of here, mates. Let's do it. Peace. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back soon. Peace, mates.
Michael, you already know I'm a fun guy.
Hola amigos, soy Juan Artur Beterbiev. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas. Un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. You know what mine is? Let's box, bitches. It's almost fight night.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Against the Ropes. Huge shout out to Against the Ropes. Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview, and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the Ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time out y'all day.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.